Hello and welcome to the Final Score. I'm your host, Harrington Gardner, alongside Nazim Tramel Wells, Justin Norris, and Roderick McLean. How you guys doing this week?
Doing pretty good.
All right.
Glad to be back.
All right, likewise. And today we're going to talk about some of the most interesting sports topics going on today. But before we get started, yesterday we lost a legend. Kobe Bryant passed away, or was tragically killed yesterday in a helicopter crash. Kobe Bryant spent his illustrious career all with Los Angeles Lakers, and the sports world was devastated yesterday after losing one of the NBA's greats. So guys, with this tragic news, we all know how much Kobe Bryant meant to all of us. What is your favorite Kobe Bryant moment, and what impact did he have on your life, and how much did he mean to you guys when it came to watching the NBA?
Well, I'll start off. Me being a Philadelphia native, Kobe, it's an interesting relationship, especially where you see a lot of people, they sell merchandise. You see the Lower Merion merchandise and a whole bunch of things that come along with Kobe's whole brand. The limited shoes that they sold, the Aces, everything like that. And it was interesting for me to see that firsthand as a high school that's actually pretty local. It's not too far away. You see kids wearing that number 33 Lower Merion jersey. I even have a friend personal to me that he wore the number 34 Lower Merion jersey. But I'm just gonna share one moment that I had. I'm not gonna take up too much time. I went to go see Kobe probably the first time when I was about 10 years old at the Wells Fargo Center, and it was amazing. I think he had to drop about 40 plus points. And that was one of the first NBA games that I ever went to, and just to see that guy, just the way how he scored, it was so difficult how he scored. But it was like poetry. It was so smooth. It was probably one of the greatest things I ever seen in my life as an early basketball fan. So that was one of the greatest moments I had for Kobe. Seeing Kobe.
I think the biggest moment for me is, his work ethic and how he really pushed everybody. You watch some of the highlights he had with his practices with the Lakers. He pushed his whole, all of his teammates. You didn't want to be around him if you were, lollygagging or not doing what you're supposed to be doing. But for me, the biggest focus is, how good of a person he is and how he lived to inspire everybody to be their better selves. Just be better and always push to be the best at what you're doing, because he felt like if you're not trying to be the best, then why are you doing it? But my favorite Kobe moment was, the 2009 NBA Finals when they played the Orlando Magic. And this is actually, a hilarious one when, Matt Barnes tried to scare him, pump fake him, and he didn't flinch. I'm like, man, this guy's cool. But, outside of, all that, I think, for him, I don't really have a certain basketball moment. I think it's not really a favorite for me. I just think that throughout his whole entire career, he's had so many memorable moments, so many games that I've watched. I've never seen him in person. I wish I could have, but he was such an outstanding player.
Right. Like you, Harrington, I never got the pleasure of watching Kobe in person like you did, Nas. But my favorite Kobe moment would probably have to be the 2009 finals, just watching him win his fourth championship, the first one without Shaq, because there was a lot of doubts about whether he could get it done by himself. Right. And, after losing in 2008 to the Celtics, for him to come back that very next year and get over the hump without Shaq was just big for his legacy. And you could tell how much he wanted it and how happy he was after winning. I'd say that was probably, I've seen the happiest I've seen him after winning the championship, because everyone knew how much it meant to get that first one without Shaq.
My favorite Kobe moment would probably be when I saw him at his last time at MSG, just seeing him going at it with Melo, laughing off the court, on the court, and just seeing him smile with other people. When you think about legacy, it's not all about what you have done, it's about the people you inspired and the people you touched. And you think about Kobe, he inspired the world, and he did that with that Mamba mentality. And he showed that in the race to not just your profession, but in life to what you want to do, that there's no finish line because there's no limitations to what you can do as a person. So just rest in peace to him, his family, and everybody else that we lost in that crash.
Right, and we can't forget about the others that were involved in that crash as well. Thoughts and prayers and condolences go out to those and their families. And Kobe Bryant just a legend and internationally well known, like LeBron James and other big athletes. But Kobe Bryant was just something to behold in the sports world. So we move on from that topic now to discuss Zion Williamson. He had his NBA debut last week, and Zion Williamson, the sports world was in awe for his debut, and he dropped 22 points in 18 minutes, 17 of them coming in the first quarter against the San Antonio Spurs. So, guys, what was your take on Zion's debut, and how do you think he'll fare against some of the other rookies in the NBA, even though he kind of started a little late?
Well, Zion's debut, it was definitely jaw-dropping. Like, when I saw it, I was really questioning if it was real life because, you know, we know Zion for the explosiveness, you know, the rebounding, the defense, the blocks, just the whole nine. But when he got the first game in the NBA to get his three-point shot going, that's usually where rookies struggle the most.
4 for 4 from
4 for 4. When he hit that
three.
4-3, I really looked at my friends. Like, I was together, I was with my friends, and we were all questioning, is this real life? Like, it was almost like a video game. You couldn't have drew it up any better than that. Like, if you played 2K or something like that, and you had Zion shooting 4 for 4 from 3, you would say this is fake. This isn't real. But he went out there and he did it. And I mean, I don't think that he'll win Rookie of the Year based off the body of the work that Ja Morant already has. He's on SportsCenter top 10 almost every week. But if Zion could put together more performances like he did the other day, then it's going to be a good debate at the end of the season.
All right, and I love his explosiveness. I love his ability to get in the paint and score these and use his body to his advantage. And also, I think that with the roster they have with Brandon Ingram and J.J. Redick and Lonzo, they got a nice young core. So I think Alvin Gentry, with the pieces that he has, they can definitely try to make a push and compete even better than they were before. I think Zion gives them that extra element. And I know that you want to kind of manage the minutes because he has missed the first portion of the season, and you want him to continue to play for years to come, so you don't want to mess anything up. But I think if you really want to compete, Zion Williamson is that X factor, and he is one of the most explosive rookies we've seen in a long time.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm sorry, Zion Williams is not winning Rookie of the Year. You guys thought I was crazy when I said that Ja Morant is the best player in the draft class.
I didn't think you were crazy.
I just disagreed.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Look at what he's doing now. 17 points, 7 assists, and he's shooting 40% from downtown. And I did not think that the Grizzlies would be in the playoff hunt. They're the 8th seed right now, and I feel like if they could keep doing what they're doing and they make the playoffs, he would definitely win Rookie of the Year.
But wait, Zion and the Pelicans, they're not too far off from that 8th spot.
They're only about 3 games out of the 8th
3 games
spot.
back.
Okay.
And the Memphis Grizzlies, they already have Ja. Zion is just getting back. They still incorporating him into the offense. He's still on a minute restriction.
I'll tell you one thing. Whoever gets that 8th spot will be Rookie of the Year.
I don't know about that.
that.
There's too much body of work for Ja Morant, and we've already seen what he's done so far this season.
I'm saying the only chance that Zion could be Rookie of the Year if they get that 8th spot.
I don't think there's a chance.
I don't think.
As much as I hate to see it, I don't
think
think there's a chance. Zion, he just came back a little too late, and I don't think that there's really much of a chance, considering the fact that Ja Morant has put the league on notice. He's put some of the biggest stars in the league on notice, and you know he's almost got a few bodies almost dunking on Kevin Love.
That's why I say he's the best player out of that draft.
I mean,
We'll see.
We'll see. I mean,
Ja will win Rookie of the Year just because, as we said, Zion's missed over half the season. And as we saw with the voters, you know, Joel Embiid, his rookie season, he averaged, I think, around 20 points, 8 rebounds a game, but he only played 31 games. And so I think, and the voters ended up going with Malcolm Brogdon that year, who was, you know, far less, a pedestrian with his numbers. He had, I think, around 10 points a game in 75 games. So I think the voters using that precedent, I think they'll vote for Ja regardless of what Zion has done because he's already missed over half the season.
I think just availability is definitely a factor. I mean, from a skill perspective, both of them can win Rookie of the Year. But if you're not available, I mean, fans want to see the product. So I think with Ja Morant, he's been able to showcase his skills. And, I don't think it'd be fair for him and the Grizzlies organization to have him come runner-up to Zion Williamson when he hasn't really been playing this season. But, just because he hasn't won Rookie of the Year, Zion Williamson, I'm saying, just because he hasn't won Rookie of the Year, that doesn't mean he won't have a promising career. Injuries happen, but, man, I'm liking what Ja Morant's doing right now. I think the Grizzlies definitely have a good young core as well. But speaking of the Memphis Grizzlies and other teams in the NBA, we're going to talk about the NBA midseason awards and some of the other players in the league that have surprised you or are just continuing to impress you guys. So who are some players that you guys think will win certain awards in the NBA this season?
Well, as much as I want LeBron, I'm a big LeBron fan. As much as I want LeBron to win, that elusive 5th MVP award, I got to go with Giannis Antetokounmpo right now. He's posting better numbers across the board, than he did last season when he won MVP. He's averaging about 30 points, 13 rebounds a game for the best team in the NBA record-wise. So, I can't go against him right now.
I feel that. For me, the MVP, I'm going Luka Doncic. Luka, he's shown how versatile he is. He's shown that he can be a great leader. He's shown his ability to get inside the paint and score at ease. I like his versatility, his ability to facilitate, and he's really taken the league by storm. He's been playing as a professional since he was 13 years old. Not a lot of guys can do that and do it well. I like, he's going up against the best of the best and perform at a high level. We're talking about Kawhi, Damian Lillard, all these different guys. He's going right at them, and he's playing at such a high level. I'm really impressed with what he's doing, and quite frankly, I know Giannis is good. I know LeBron is good. I know all these guys are good.
I know LeBron is good.
I feel like the NBA needs something new, especially since it's so interesting to see that Dirk Nowitzki, with him gone, passing the torch to Luka.
But as teammates on the same team.
It's just good to see that he's passing the torch to Luka in that same organization, and they have another good player. So I think me personally, I'm going with the MVP of Luka Doncic.
I have to agree with Harrington. What Luka's doing on the court is criminal. Criminal. Like he steps in on the court every night. And how do you game plan for him? You can't. He does everything on the court, and he does it with so much finesse. It's not crazy athleticism.
Right.
It's
where
smooth.
you have that with LeBron and also Giannis. Now my thing is, LeBron, he's playing well. He's rejuvenated. Obviously, he's angry after last year, but he also has Anthony Davis. Giannis, on the other hand, his team is slightly better. He's shooting the 3-ball a little bit more aggressively, I'll say. Right. But I really haven't seen that much improvement in his game. Where are we going to get to in the playoffs when they play him like a regular big man? Back off of him. Is he going to be able to hit that shot during the playoffs?
Just a regular season award.
No,
we're just talking about MVP.
But when we talking about crunch time, we're talking about the best players, because these teams are all going to the playoffs.
Right.
Luka Doncic, I can't even name the second best player on his team.
Kristaps Porzingis.
It's definitely Kristaps.
Definitely Kristaps Porzingis.
But all right, okay, I'm wrong about that one. But Porzingis hasn't been playing the best as of recently.
No, I agree. Anthony Davis is better.
He's picking it back up.
He's picking it back up. I just
but
think
he's been average. That's what I'll say.
I just don't think he's as aggressive. I don't want to say that
he's still coming off that ACL injury. He wasn't playing for over a year.
That's an excuse.
I don't want to use the ACL injury.
He didn't play professional basketball for over a year. He's coming back from a major knee injury at 7'3".
He just needs to be more aggressive, in my opinion.
Right.
Luka's almost averaging a triple-double.
That's fair. Okay, so why doesn't Russell Westbrook have 3 straight MVPs? He put up a triple-double the past 3 years.
Are you serious right now, Justin?
I'm saying using that logic. Russell Westbrook has averaged a triple-double the past 3 seasons. He doesn't have 3 MVPs.
Justin, but
that's not all we look at.
Luka's 20 years old. He's averaging 29 points, 10 rebounds, and 9 assists.
Russell Westbrook
20.
Not start average.
Luka is younger than everybody here at the table.
I understand that. But also, all I'm saying is, using that argument, Russell Westbrook has averaged a triple-double for the past 3 seasons, and he did not win MVP in all of them.
But not his second year in the league? Not his second year in the NBA?
I understand. The voter, a triple-double is a triple-double.
It is, but also you have to factor in his age. You have to factor in all the players on his team. Russell Westbrook did have Paul George a few times on his team too.
Look,
man,
we can run back the tape because last year I got on this show last year and said Giannis would win MVP, and everyone said it'd be James Harden.
James.
And
I
I
did say-
remember
I did say
collecting
James
a
Harden.
few dollars from some of y'all who I won't name because we bet on that. So that's all I'm gonna say.
I didn't
But I'll let you have it. I'll
My
let you have
pockets
it.
are intact.
I plead the fifth with that one. But I can't believe I'm saying this. I do agree with Nazim for once.
That never happens.
And Harrington.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
I am taking Luka as
We
MVP.
can bet on TV. We
Like
can
I said
really-
earlier,
We can bet on
he's
TV.
averaging 29 points, 10 rebounds, and 9 assists, and he's only 20. And you think about it, he's 20 years old and leading this team, the Mavericks, who's the 6th seed in the Western Conference. Not the Eastern Conference, but the Western Conference.
The Wild Wild West.
Also, I believe Luka has to be on a better team. You know, record-wise, we've never seen the MVP. You know, you got to be at least a 4 seed historically.
Okay, and
to
we
win
still got
MVP.
half the
Wait,
season
no,
left
Russ
to play.
missed out.
Russ was the 7th seed when he got in that one year.
7th?
Yeah,
I
he
thought
was
they were like
fourth.
the 5th.
He was 4th or 5th, but he wasn't 7th.
Yeah, he wasn't 7th.
He wasn't
No,
7th.
that was the last year.
Yeah.
Oh.
Excuse me. I'm wrong. Again.
I think, for Giannis Antetokounmpo, he's definitely dominating, right now. But I just think Luka is taking the lead by storm just because he's a fresh face.
He's the next big thing.
He's
All
a
right.
fresh
I
face,
think
and that's what every-
I think the NBA is we're always quick to anoint the next guy up.
Right.
Especially with LeBron, he's been dominating so long. We looked at KD, we looked at Curry.
Right.
People would try to say that Curry was the best player in basketball, and LeBron, shut all that down.
shut down
And now
real quick.
Harden, Kawhi, Luka. I mean, Luka's time is coming.
Right.
He's definitely going to win a couple MVPs
that's
in his
every-
career, barring injury. I
that's
just don't think it'll
every-
be this year.
Right,
His
that's
time
every
is
major
already
sports
here.
league. You see
This
young
year
guys
when
come
it
in.
started.
Right.
MLB, NFL, NBA. Everyone loves fresh faces.
Exactly.
I think, if we're really looking at the best player in the NBA, it's the guy who's constantly performing at a
Exactly.
high level.
Exactly.
But Luka this year, you can't deny he's having
He's
a good
incredible
year.
now.
He
He's
is
definitely
incredible.
incredible.
All
It's
right.
the Luka show.
All right, so now we're going to head into our final topic of the day. Super Bowl Sunday is coming in a few days, and it will be in Miami, Florida, between the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers. Guys, the 49ers dominated in their game against the Green Bay Packers, and Kansas City was able to overcome the running attack of Derrick Henry in the AFC Championship game against the Tennessee Titans. So, guys, who do you guys going to go with on Super Bowl Sunday in beautiful Miami, Florida?
I can't believe I'm saying this, but the 49ers will win the Super Bowl. And I'm saying this because I'm looking at both sides of the ball. They're basically even on both sides. The only thing that the Chiefs have really dramatically better than the 49ers is the quarterback play. But like I say, we all know defense wins championships, and that 49ers defense is
Scary.
special
Scary.
and scary.
I got to agree with you there, Roderick. I'm going with the San Francisco 49ers. Not so much for their offense and what they do in the passing game. I like what Kyle Shanahan has done with this offense led by Jimmy Garoppolo. He's put his quarterback in the best position to manage the game, and I like the trio of running backs they have. Breida, Mostert, Tevin Coleman. I like the offensive line that they have as well. Like I said, not a very high-octane offense, but they've got some weapons. Emmanuel Sanders, they've got George Kittle. But the
He's
biggest thing
special.
for me,
So is
George
Travis-
Kittle
so
is a
Travis
monster.
Kelce. Don't forget about Travis Kelce.
The biggest thing for me is the Niners defense. Nick Bosa, D. Ford, Eric
Sherman,
Armstead,
okay.
Kawan Alexander, Richard Sherman, the former Seahawk, back in the Super Bowl. And this time he wants to win. He still is remembering, that other Super Bowl against the Patriots. But
Yeah.
I just like the personnel that San Francisco has on the defensive side of the ball, and I can't name a team that has won a Super Bowl without a good defense. I just can't. Last year, the LA Rams defense didn't really play as well, and they lost. Offensively, they couldn't really get going.
It wasn't the right team to be in anyway.
And I just think that, Kansas City, they've got a good offense, but defensively, they need a little bit more. I like what they have on the defensive line, but they need to prove that they can win on the second and third level. So for me, I think that defense is going to give Patrick Mahomes some trouble. He's still going to have a great game, but I'm going with San Francisco.
I like the. Once again, I'll be the outlier. That's fine. I like the Kansas City Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. I just think that Patrick Mahomes is a transcendent talent, and I'm just going to ride him all the way to the Super Bowl, just like he's
Best quarterback in the league.
Absolutely best quarterback in the league. We saw him erase a 24-point deficit against the the Houston Texans, and after that,
Two teams they went down by a significant margin.
exactly. I mean, I like his ability to rally his teammates and come back from deficits. So I think even if they get down early, I trust Patrick Mahomes more in late game situations than I do Jimmy Garoppolo, and it's that simple to me.
Definitely.
Justin, I'm not going to leave you out to dry. I'm gonna join you. I'm gonna join you on the Chiefs train.
Thank you.
And as you guys know, even from previous shows, that I've been high on Pat Mahomes the entire year.
Absolutely.
But that defense does scare me. It scares me. And really, I think we talked about this earlier. I think that this Super Bowl reminds me of the Denver Broncos versus the Panthers.
How so?
Where the Panthers had a high-octane offense. The defense was solid. They had some playmakers on the defensive side,
Right.
but they were a high-octane offense with a superstar quarterback in Cam Newton. While on the other side, they had an aging Peyton for the Denver Broncos. They had an aging Peyton Manning. The team wasn't really offensively oriented, but the defense with Von Miller, led by Von Miller, was absolutely astounding. Cam couldn't even get the ball out of the pocket almost. But I feel like this is the same case where you have Bosa coming at you. You have to watch out where Richard Sherman is on the field at all times. But I just feel like Mahomes is just different. I feel like he's a different kind of talent in that he just figures out week in and week out how to get it done, whether it's with his legs, whether it's with his arm, or just playing backyard football and extending plays in a weird array of ways. And I'm not no defensive genius, but they made it all the way to the Super Bowl with every team knowing that they're going to pass the ball.
Well, I mean, if you look at the defenses that they've played this year, they've played some okay defenses.
The Titans and Texans both have good defenses.
The Texans defense is okay. Titans defense, they've got some guys on there, but their secondary is good. We're talking about what Patrick Mahomes' ability
the 49ers will be a different animal.
It will be different. I think defensive coordinator Robert Saleh, he's going to come with something different. He's going to look at some of his weaknesses and some of the weaknesses of the receivers, because what Kansas City does is, it's not just running a route. It's like different
timing.
route trees,
Right.
and like spreading and running all across the field to see who's open while the plays are extended. So,
but here's where I think that the Chiefs will win. We know that Pat Mahomes is going to score. They have no problem scoring. And yes, the 49ers will slow them down, but I believe that they still will score. Now, will that Chiefs defense show up? I believe that if their defense shows up just a little bit, just to fluster Jimmy G,
right.
that they just have to keep it a low-scoring game. Well, a high-scoring. Well, it could be a shootout, or it could be whatever.
Oh, it's gonna have to be a shootout.
It's going to have to be a
It's gonna have
shootout
to
for
be a
them.
shootout.
It's going to have to be a shootout for them to win.
Because a low-scoring game with that 49ers defense.
It's in the favor. It's in the favor of the 49ers.
Right.
But I believe that as long as that defense can show up just to fluster Jimmy G, I have the Chiefs winning it, because Pat Mahomes, they're going to get in the end zone.
Oh,
That's just,
of course.
That's just what it is.
Of course.
That's just a fact.
Right. Well, regardless of who wins, this Super Bowl could be one for the ages, guys. I cannot wait. And with that being said, that's all we have for today's show. Thank you guys for watching. And once again, we want to send our condolences and our prayers to the Bryant family and everybody who was tragically killed in that helicopter crash. But thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.